Christmas is a Christian holiday by nature, with its roots being around the birth of the main man himself, Jesus Christ. But while the holiday's origins are Christian, the celebration itself can be seen all over the world. So it's always interesting to see how other countries with smaller Christian communities celebrate this season-defining holiday. So let's dive into Japan and how the Son of God lost to the colonel of chicken. When Christianity was introduced to the Isles of Japan in 1549, so was Christmas. However, in 1614, during the Edo period, the Tokugawa shogunate banned Christianity from the island nation, and eventually shut down any form of inbound ships outside of China, Korea, and the Netherlands. However, since Christianity was banned from the Japanese Isles, that meant that the Dutch traders and scholars located in Japan couldn't celebrate Christmas. So they did it in secret and called it Oranda Shogutsu, which translates to Dutch New Year. Eventually, the Dutch also invited some Japanese people to these New Year parties where Dutch food was served. This New Year celebration was allowed to exist even though Christianity was banned. This celebration continued even after the fall of the Netherlands, during the French occupation of the lowlands, with the family aspect of Christmas still being on the forefront of this Japanese Christmas. And this remained the status quo of Christmas in Japan for a while, with the first Christmas trees being imported into Japan during the second half of the 19th century, when the Prussian minister brought a large tree to the Prussian legation inside of Japan to celebrate the birth of Christ, with the first Japanese person starting to decorate a tree at the end of the 19th century. Many believe this person was Kei Isono, the founder of Meiji department store that recently opened up. This kickstarted the era of the more modern interpretation of Christmas in Japan. In the early 1900s, the Meiji department store in Ginza was the first company who brought Christmas to the commercial world of Japan, giving them the first Christmas sale. They were also the first place to start decorating their stores with Christmas decoration, plastering Merry Xmas on storefronts and festive lights inside of the store. During the Showa era, following the death of Emperor Taisho on December 25th, the Taisho Emperor Festival was held on that same day, celebrating the life of the previous emperor, marking it an official holiday date in Japan. And since it fell on the exact same day as Christmas, this caused the Western view of Christmas to grow for the next 21 years and cemented its roots in the Japanese society. In 1948, the Taisho Emperor Festival was removed as a holiday. However, Christmas continued to be established as a yearly event, and celebration became more grandiose. It was also during this time, during the American occupation of Japan, that Christmas finally started to gain life again after Japan lost the Pacific War. It was also during this time that religious implications were called to question about Christmas, where Christmas trees in public areas were an obvious sign of Christianity, and for that, the Christmas trees were removed from public areas like train stations, only to be reinstated 2 days later when Christmas trees were considered a seasonal decorative, not a religious one. During the post-war economic miracle of Japan was when Christmas really became integrated into Japanese culture, with more and more people participating in the more Western sensibility of modern Christmas, which is giving gifts and spending time together. And this remained more similar to how Westerners celebrated Christmas, until in 1970 a certain chain restaurant made its first appearance in Japan. Yes, it was Kentucky Fried Chicken who finally had a restaurant in Japan. That same store also closed down after a year, with the manager of the first store, Takeshi Okawara, tried proving himself by traveling to America to learn how to be a better manager and improve his skills. When back in Japan, he was the person who decided to start a marketing campaign around Christmas after hearing a story of a foreign immigrant in Japan ordering KFC since the country didn't have any turkeys. And in 1974, the phrase Kentucky for Christmas was first coined, and has been the go-to mentality of Japanese Christmas celebrators. During the late 20th century, Japan went through quite a bit of a change. It was the era of jazz. Jazz became popular and the vigorous dances that accompany it became popular as well. This was frowned upon by the generation that loved the elegant dancing set of classical music. Christmas as a holiday became fused with the jazz culture due to this. The style of spending Christmas in cafes and dance halls became a more major trend, where it was more usual to spend Christmas with a partner than your family. The gift-giving part of Christmas is still in full effect and is probably the thing that makes Japanese Christmas most alike to the Western Christmas. However, despite the gradual, or some might say even explosive popularity of Christmas, it still isn't that big of a Christmas country as most more traditional Christian nations. Some traveling sites even recommend Japan as a traveling destination for people that want to avoid the Christmas fuzz. Well, that's it for my videos of this year. I hope you enjoyed each and every one of them, and if you did, at least give this one a like. Also come back next year where I'll be trying to make more grandiose and bigger videos all throughout the year. I'm Durkcoin, and thank you all for watching me yet again for this entire year.